Okay, so now that the Golf is in one colour again, we can see where the dents are on this one a little bit more clearly and exactly how severe they are, I suppose. We knew it had a couple of issues, but nothing too major, but you can see them. Once it's in a nice satin finish like this, you can see them straight away. So we have taken the decision to start doing some dent pulling, basically. So we've just taken an 80 grit on a block at the moment, just to highlight where the main dents are, the ones that we don't know about in any case. As you can see, Tig's just put a little bit of layout fluid on there, which is the blue ink. Again, it kind of acts like a guide coat on metal for us, and then just allows us to do some dent pulling. So we will pull these out and metalwork them as much as possible. We're not going to 100% metalwork this car, but we do pull the dents out to a certain extent, just the deeper fill ones. Again, we could just fiberglass straight away, but we will try and metalwork as best as possible. It will be going into filler and poly later on down the line as well, so we haven't got to be 100% perfect, but yeah, better do something than absolutely nothing, if that makes sense. I'm just doing the last gaps on the Cobra, and we are both struggling with the heat. So just continuing on with the dent pulling on this one, then the bonnet's in not the best condition in the world. It's got quite a few larger dents. It's going to be difficult to pick up on the camera here again, as always, but there's a lot going on up here. There's a strange sort of S-shaped one going on here, which also means that it's low there, dent, 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 one over there. It's not bad by any means, but we'll do a little bit more dent pulling on this one, and then the next stage after this is to get these bare metal areas back into epoxy, and then as always the filler for us goes on top of the epoxy. I've said this many times in the past, but we never ever fill over the top of bare metal. We always fill over epoxy. Epoxy is what gives us the corrosion protection and a nice waterproof membrane. Filler directly on top of metal can create heat with its chemical reaction and create moisture underneath the paint, so always filler on top of epoxy for us. So just thought I'd jump on here quickly and explain what we're up to. As I said previously, we are just trying to get some epoxy on the bare metal areas. So we're using a mini jet in this instance, so just a 1mm mini jet to keep things nice and confined. No point in going to the 1.3 or the 1.8, the full-size guns, because again, we don't need to take the epoxy any further than you see here, just the bare metal areas only. You can quite clearly see we're not in the booth for once. The reason for that is that we actually had another job in there at the time of recording this. It also helps us out a little bit in terms of not having to move the cars around all the time. So yeah, just the more economical way of doing things time-wise. I know it doesn't look the best potentially. I think a lot of shops across the country do things like this. They just won't necessarily show it on the social media, etc. We are using the booth air line, so all of the air that we're using is 100% clean and contaminant-free, dry. So no issues from doing things like this. It just doesn't necessarily look the best, I suppose. But you've got to remember, this is, again, as I always say, just the foundation layer. So every subsequent layer that goes on top of this will be sanded. I mean, the next stage for this is that it's going into a filler. So obviously that gets sanded. So any dirt and contaminants or any, whatever might fall in the paint at this stage, dust, etc., because obviously we're not doing it in the cleanest of environments. It's not in a sealed booth. But that all gets sanded out. So it's just the most economical way of doing things. It's the most time-effective and cost-effective way of doing things from a time perspective, rather than messing about moving things around for no real reason. I hope that makes sense. Right, back into epoxy to protect it then. As I said, I need to make this very clear as well. We're not trying to metalwork this one 100%. We can spend many more hours on this, getting this metal finished. There's no need for something like this, in all honesty. What would the customer prefer? For us to spend hours making this absolutely dead straight with metalwork and charging a lot more for it, or just using a very small skim of filler? So on a job like this, it's just not necessary. So appreciate, it doesn't look fantastic from that side of things in the light. And I always say, I put things in the channel, I show you guys exactly what we're up against and what we're doing. But if you look down here, you will see then, hopefully, what we're trying to do. So that dent is gone, effectively. You've now just got a couple of very small puddle dents around it. But yeah, the dent's effectively gone. So what we're talking about now is just a skim of filler. And when we do skim it, you're going to have
you know, a millimetre at the absolute maximum of filler in there. Whereas before, if we just left it how it was, you'd have more like that amount at certain levels just because of how dipped it was. So yeah, it doesn't look fantastic from there, but actually it's pretty decent. There's a huge distinction between metalworking things 100% and just making them just good enough for filler. And then the flip side of that, of course, is some people just bodge that full of filler without doing anything to it at all. So yeah, I thought I'd just jump on quickly and explain that. But protected, that can now sit for 20 minutes or so. We can go straight over the top of that with our filler. I'm going to leave it to sit for a little bit longer than that, just to be absolutely safe. Give it a very, very quick scuff, and then we'll go on with our filler. And yeah, go from there on all of the areas that you see around the car. Okay, back in the booth with the Golf. I was tied up next door with a camera, so I didn't actually get this one on camera yesterday at all, but Tig's just been round and epoxied the bare metal areas. From where we did the filler work, we obviously broke through to quite a few bare metal areas. So they get re-epoxied again for corrosion resistance. But this is the extent to which we're going to on the repair work. We couldn't really see anything wrong with the roof. We couldn't really see anything wrong with the majority of the doors, the wings, things like that. It's a pretty straight and clean car as far as we're concerned. So the poly is the next stage, and that will then start highlighting some more issues for us at the blocking stage. That's why we do it. But yeah, at this moment in time, everything is looking really rather good. So as I said, everything is reinstated in terms of corrosion protection. It was actually done yesterday. We've just scuffed it up again today briefly, given it a panel wipe yet again, ready for spray poly now. 2 or 3 coats of that, depending on what I think is necessary really. I'll figure that out as I go around the car.
So we're going in for the second or third layer of spray polyester filler now. You can see we're using our dedicated spray gun for this. It's a 2.5 Novol setup. We wouldn't really dream of spraying anything else through this. Sometimes the Cobra finishes, but basically it really fires this stuff out like you wouldn't believe. It shoots it out like a cannon. It's an enormous spray nozzle tip. For that reason as well, you can see sometimes it looks a little bit stripy. That is just the way that this product sprays a little bit stripy sometimes. It doesn't affect things in any way. It is not a finished product, as it were. We are sanding this down afterwards. But yeah, this stuff absolutely fires it out like you wouldn't believe. You can see as well, we've not got full coverage around the car, so there are certain areas that we have missed. Down on the lower bumper areas, we've not really gone in too heavy on the arches, lower sills, things like that. Now that's because, as you'll remember, or as you'll know, these Golfs are covered with a really thick black plastic around a lot of the car actually. Front bumpers, rear bumpers, all black plastic, all around the arches, lower sills. So that helps us out in some respects. A lot of it is hidden. Now we have bodyworked it. As you've seen in the previous clips, we have bodyworked things to a certain extent. We've not gone crazy on that side of things because, again, we like to make things look nice and tidy if the bumpers do come off, but we haven't gone to the extent of making them look absolutely finished, as it were, because it's just extra time spent. Eats into the budget, eats into the customer's budget, where we could be spending that money quite nicely on something else instead. So yeah, we've not gone too crazy, but we have made things look presentable. But yeah, no need for the poly to go down in those areas whatsoever. So hope that clears a few things up.
That's the Golf into our sprayable polyester filler. The repair areas were done with about 3.5 coats. The rest of the car then has had 2.5 coats or so. Something like that. All ready for blocking down now. 180 on a block to block all this down. We'll guide coat it obviously first. That will then highlight any imperfections for us. So the reason that we use sprayable filler, spray polyester filler specifically, it doesn't shrink back, it doesn't sink into anything, it stays absolutely rock solid, this stuff. So it's very, very good for the larger flat areas that you have on a car like this one. To be fair, we use it on everything, but it's just, it's the best filler that we can use. It gives us, one nice uniform, even coat over the entire car. I've talked about this many, many times before, but it's always good to sand at a consistent rate across the entire vehicle when you're sanding. If you have too many substrates in one area, they all sand at different rates and you end up with waves and ripples. So that's why we put one nice consistent layer over the entire car so we can sand it off consistently as well. That's what gets our jobs as straight as we possibly can. So like I said, next one for this, guide coat, start blocking it all down. And then it'll be going into primer, block that down, and be ready for paint then. We'll probably be doing the interior at some point in and amongst all of that as well. Yeah, cracking on nicely with this one though, as with the other projects in the shop as well. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed. Any questions or comments, do leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm pretty slow at replying to people at the moment, as you've probably seen, but I do try and get around to every single comment that I can, as well as all the WhatsApps and messages and all that side of things as well. Yeah, bear with, but I will speak to you, or I'll get back to you as quick as I can. We'll catch you all next week.